I said, Vince Carter. And I could tell like he's in the game. Like he's in the game and he's got this kid out of nowhere just heckling at him. And I'm just sitting there so excited. I'm asking, can I yell his name? Can I yell his name? And he looked up and he went like this. And I'll never forget about that. I'll remember the story, remember the day, just going like that.
What up, Jamal? How you doing? Happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I am happy to have you on the show. Good to see you, of course. But about maybe 5 days ago, I realized I'm coming to Denver to interview the wrong person. I should be interviewing your mascot.
Rocky.
Who we all learned apparently is making like $600,000 a year. Did you see that report?
Oh, yeah.
So what makes Rocky the superior NBA mascot?
He just gives off a lot of energy. Makes the half-court shots backwards every time. Actually had a really good rate. And yeah, he just does a great job, great energy.
So do you know the man or woman inside of Rocky?
Uh-huh.
Okay, what's he or she like?
That's confidential.
Really? Is this top secret?
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Is the identity not revealed? Does anyone know Rocky? See, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So he's kind of being paid to stay like incognito.
Incognito
it's
for
all
sure.
of it together. Okay. Well, tell Rocky I said hi.
I got you.
Okay. I'm very into this like mascot salary thing because I feel like I'm doing the wrong profession. I want to.
You could do it?
Yeah, like learn some flips, learn some behind the back. I think I could do it. I'll work on it. If the Hawks, Harry, I'm very into Harry the Hawk, but I would come and do that. But first off, congrats. I'm so happy that you're back.
Thank you.
We all saw you on the preseason game against the Thunder. I'm sure the whole thing was amazing, but what moment in that game was your highest moment?
Probably the halftime buzzer. Just because I wasn't thinking about anything else except being in that mode and trying to get a bucket, which I ain't felt in a while. So obviously making my first basket was good. Just being out there hearing the fans was good, but to be in that mentality, to flip that switch was good. It was nice.
So just to put into perspective for everyone, so you played basketball for the first time since April 12th, 2021. Nearly 1.5 years, missed 100 of Denver's regular season games, 15 of Denver's playoff games, and as of today, it will have been about 540 days since you played in an NBA game. A lot of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it's been that long?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say longer.
It's just been a journey. You know, all the work you put in, all the detailed stuff you got to go through, all the weight room, being away from the team, watching them do stuff, not feeling like you're part of it. And then, just focusing on doing your job, not being able to do it at a high level. So a lot of things go through your mind, and it definitely feels really long, but I'm glad I put the work in and was able to show last night.
So what did you learn about time through this process?
It's got to stick with it. It's got to be patient. It really tests me because there's times I felt like I could do more, but if I did too much, then the rest of the week would be off about how much I can do. So it got really not confusing, but really detailed and tedious, and all those minute stuff mattered. So that was probably the tough part, knowing that, if I do one extra jump today, I'm gonna be sore for 2 extra days.
Yeah.
So those were hard to limit myself.
Yeah, so how much of that really was like balancing your limits, what you want to do, what you can do, what you can't do?
Mm-hmm. Planning out days, better planning, better preparation, and knowing that the more time passes, the better I'm gonna feel. So even like a couple months ago, I was getting sore after I played. Now I'm not as sore, and I didn't see that before. Or I didn't see when I couldn't go up the stairs. I didn't see when I couldn't go down them, or my first couple jumps were in the water. All those little stuff start to add up, and you start to see the progress, and everything you start to see the light and everything.
Well, there were certainly moments in that game against the Thunder where you had to really trust that ACL, right? Mm-hmm. We saw you going one-on-one with Trey Mann. You had the fadeaway off the left leg. How much have you learned about having to trust yourself, and is that still hard?
No, it's pretty natural, especially when I'm doing something I love, and basketball's very natural to me. But it was the off the court stuff that was hard, to be honest. Like going down the stairs, I have a lot of stairs in my house, so like when I'm going up the stairs, going down the stairs, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow if I go up one more flight of stairs, you know? So it's like those little stuff start to add up. But once I started to see the progress, I was on the court, making jump shots, playing freely, started to see my moves work, started to get my quickness back. Everything just started to flow from there.
Do you have to think about going up and down the stairs now?
I still do, slightly.
Yeah.
It's only because I've only thought of it for so long. And because I'm still trying to feel my knees, still trying to feel the grab on it, you know? So it's not like crazy, oh my God, the stairs, but
right. Oh no, the stairs.
But it's still something that's like, okay, I just gotta make sure I just go down properly, that's it. You know?
Yeah. Well, because one thing that I've kind of learned as guys do go through certain recovery is there's more so these moments where you say, okay, I'm back or I feel better. And I wonder if a moment for you of feeling fully returned is when you aren't thinking about things like the stairs at all anymore.
Even in the game, you know, if I do an awkward movement, sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't move as quick as I wanted to, just for that slight second. But then, you know, the move works or I get to where I want to and I don't think about it anymore. But it's just for that split second, I'm like, man, I wasn't thinking about this 2 years ago. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna keep progressing, keep getting better.
Yeah, no, I love that. I saw a picture of your dad sitting next to you on the bench before the game. And I've read a lot about obviously how he helped mold you into the player that you are today. That moment on the bench, what were you all talking about before the game?
I didn't get to see him before the game, so we were just catching up real quick from his flight. He had a long day, so he was tired, but it was nice. He just wanted to be the front for his game. It's been a while since he's seen me play, and he knows where I'm coming from, so it's just nice to have him in the presence.
So as I was getting ready for this, I went through some of your Twitter likes. Your second most recent like, I'll rephrase, but it is something to the extent of people really forgot how good Jamal Murray is. Do you feel that way, that they forgot? That
I do, I really do. Just because I've been gone for so long. You know, when you see like the top guys in the league, they try to rank guys, you know, I haven't been playing, so they don't rank me. So like, that kind of puts in my head like, okay, I got some work to do when I come back. So that was the kind of thing, as you see a lot, you know, people, they take you out of the categories, they put someone else that shouldn't be there, and then all of a sudden you're like non-existent because you're not playing. So when I come back to play, I wanted to make sure that I have that in mind and I keep those notes, those mental notes, just gotta check boxes, you know?
Yeah, because I do think when people get injured, there is this element of you're almost out of the conversation. And then you in turn are probably internally struggling with like, okay, did they remember that like I'm also good? I just got injured. It hasn't changed who I am as a player. How did you deal with that feeling of being what you thought was forgotten?
Honestly, when you're not playing, you just gotta focus on the stuff that is gonna help you get back out there. So just putting more work in the weight room, just make sure I come back and my legs stronger so I can trust it better. Putting more work in my jump shot. Just all those stuff while I'm training. I'm making sure, like I said, I'm keeping notes and keeping that fire built up. Even though I can't go, you know, expand it, but I can have it build up, and for moments like in the games, I can show flashes and so what I need to do.
Okay, so remind everyone. Tell us what kind of player Jamal Murray is.
I mean, it shows for itself. People kind of refer to the bubble guy. It's like I'm the same guy. Like I didn't change. It's just a year later or whatever, 2 years later. So hopefully I can go back and do a couple moves that remind them and put my name back on that pedestal.
You know, as someone who is also in the bubble, it's so funny that we really will always refer to this like playoffs one year as the bubble playoffs. And just how special that moment was. I mean, obviously no one wanted to be in the bubble. We didn't want the circumstances that were happening in the world. But I think that basketball was some of the best basketball I will ever see for the rest of my life.
For sure.
Do you feel that way?
For sure. I think that was the highest level of basketball being played because it was only basketball. And guys were so locked in. It's, you know, you go to the gym, you have shoot around, you eat, you play. Win or lose, you're in your room and you go back to the gym. If you want to do something, you want a hobby, you just go to the gym. You have a court time from 6 to 9. Like that was all we did, you know. So now you're playing cards with your teammates, you know. So guys were just locked in. We're always talking about basketball. We're always talking about coverages. We're always in the gym shooting free throws. So it was just that was the only thing we're doing, and that helped me for sure because that's the kind of guy I am to stay locked in night out, you know.
That's why I think there's this contingent of people that try to discredit the Lakers for winning in the bubble, saying it doesn't count. There is such a major argument to be had for it to actually have been harder to win in the bubble. But a lot of people, I think, don't really believe in the bubble basketball. Have you experienced that at all?
I've seen it. You know, I see on Twitter people trying to discredit
Yeah.
it, but I don't see it that way at all. I think it's one of the realest basketball that happened. You know, no, it's real basketball. You know, there's no fans. Everything's kind of eerie in there. So you know, if a coach yells at you, it's taken different than when fans are around and you can't kind of get blown over, stuff like that. You know, so like I said, it was really real. It was real basketball, real hoops out there.
Absolutely. And bubble Jamal Murray was certainly something that's very special. What do you attribute those specific performances to?
Just a lot of build up. Be mentally focused to play. And my dad said something to me. I think after the game 1 against Utah, and we came back, he said every time you step on the court, you can make history. So I don't know why it resonated, but you know, from that point on, when he said that, it just something clicked. So when I started to see myself do it and start to gain the confidence in doing it, I didn't want to lose that. I just kind of built on it, night in, night out, built on it, and then you know became harder to guard, and that's when you know, we beat the Jazz, and then we moved on. And it was the same thing. It was just like just keep that same energy. There's no need to go back and be inconsistent. You know, just I kind of found something. I found my routine, and I just stuck with it.
Yeah. How do you take that same sort of mindset about making history every time that you step onto the court into this season?
Um, just using everything I've thought about being out. I think you have so many thoughts, so many doubts, and then people doubt you on top of that, and then you're not playing. And so it's hard to see yourself, what you can do after that. The unknown, going to the unknown, you're not sure about. So for me, it was just being excited to play, using my happiness, using my love for the game, and I think it'll show by itself. So, like, you know, 2 days ago we played, and once I hit my first shot, I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm here now. I can just play
Yeah.
freely. You know, I got the monkey off my back. Now I'm just playing basketball. So once I can get those games, I get some rhythm, and we got a lot of new players. So we find that chemistry, I think we'd be fine.
All right. So this season, what we're going to see from you, you've never been an all-star.
No, I haven't.
How does it feel hearing that you've never been an all-star?
No, I haven't. Credit though, there's a lot of good competition. So CJ hasn't been all-star either. He's one of the toughest guys to guard. But I do want to make all-star. I want to have that title. Just something that I've never had, and now I have 2 playoffs that I missed. So I just feel like, you know, I'm that guy in the playoffs, and I've always had that kind of edge. So I just need the resume to show it now. That's all.
And so knowing there's some stiff competition in the West to be able to do that, how do you get that on your resume? What will it take for you to separate from that and become an all-star?
I think just being me, just being natural. I ain't gotta overthink it. I'm gonna get my shots, do 2 days. I can be more locked in because that's what I was doing in the bubble, and that's what we had to do. So just taking the basketball night in, night out, day in, day out. I think that's all I need, to be honest with you. Just more commitment.
One thing that always comes up is you and Jokic and the synergy that you all have, the great chemistry you have. It's something that's said and thrown around, but why is it? Why do you think you all have such good chemistry? And has it always been that way?
Always been that way. We came off the bench together, our rookie years. Nurk started, and then Moutier and Jameer started over me, and Gary too. So we came off the bench together, and then we started doing the hit the post, I cut, and he threw it over his head. And that would always make the highlight for some reason. And then when he took Nurk's spot, I moved up. We kept that. And Yoke's a very unselfish player. He just wants to pass and get out guys open. And I'm just trying to make the right play. So, you know, we just kind of feed off each other's energy. If I'm open, there's no hesitation to pass the ball. I think a lot of teams have that slight pause or that slight hesitation or a slight overthinking the play, where for us it's just boom, boom, bang, somebody's open. You know, there's no call for it. There's no waiting around, and it's just nice to have somebody on the same page all the time, all game, no matter the time of the game or score. You know.
So that ease that comes with you all, is there anything that you can compare it to?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Like you just put peanut butter first and then you put jelly on. Like it's just that's just how it goes. That's how people make it. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same thing where when we go pick and roll, it's okay. It's simple. If the defender does this is what I'm supposed to do, and he knows the same way around for him. So we do a lot of that, playing with the defense and make them think about how to guard us.
And I assume that it's gotten to the point where you also just know what he's going to do
Yeah.
before he does it.
Yeah.
You're in your spot. You know what's coming. I mean, that's very, very clear when we watch you all play, which is why it's very exciting that you're going to be on the court together. Jokic, there's kind of a chance he could get third MVP, I think, if everything goes right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that for Jokic this year?
I mean, you got me, Mike, AG, and Pope, KCP, the starting five. That's like he was getting 10 assists before. Imagine if he's shooting to guys that shoot like 40% from three. So he's gonna have a lot of assists this year, and his workload won't be as high as the past couple of years.
Yeah, because you are gonna come in and take a lot of that weight off of him. What do you think makes you all legitimate contenders this season?
We don't panic. I think that's a big thing during the season, during the game. There's no panic, and there's always a sense that we can come back. I know a lot of teams, if you go down 10, 15, 20 points, it's kind of okay. We know we got them. With us, we can come back at any time. We just need a couple of baskets go in, a couple stops, and we're right there with new energy, new life. I think resiliency is a big part of our team, and knowing that we can actually get the job done and accomplish the job. So, yeah, like I said, just free flowing. We have a lot of fun with the game, and we enjoy to see each other succeed.
Okay, so watching from the sidelines, what did you learn about your team's defense?
Which year?
This past season.
Just need to get better. Just need improvements. That's all. I thought we had some really good stints. I thought Austin Rivers did a great job last year trying to guard Steph. Even when Steph scored, he was right there and was disciplined. But I think this year we have a squad where Bruce Brown, KCP's back, I'm back. We have a lot of guys that can switch 1 through 5, 1 through 4, and get some stops. So yeah.
Yeah. I know that in the press conference you were asked about, when all 5 of you are on the floor, you beat the Clippers. You said you felt like no one could beat you.
Mm-hmm.
What about that moment made you as a team feel unstoppable? And how far is this team from that?
Like I said, we were down 3-1 twice, and it didn't faze us. Like we still knew we had to play basketball. They still had to come play the next game. We didn't vary from that. We didn't get down or sad or feel sorry for ourselves. It was just like they got to win one more, and then we're not going to make it easy for them. And that went for both series. So especially when you see yourself come back the first time, you're like, oh man, we did something that's never been done, or for whatever 8th time it's been done, and then we did it again in the same playoffs. Like we have something real special. We got a team that can do a lot if we just get off to a better start.
Yeah.
We'd be up 3-1. Change the pace a little bit. Have better chances, but yeah.
Yeah. One thing that's very clear to me through talking to you now, but also from what I've read, is for you, the mental side of the game is probably the most important.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot about your dad teaching you all what I think you called mental kung fu.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell everybody what that means and how that bleeds into your game.
I always try to compare it to like a fight. So I watch a lot of boxing and UFC. And if a fighter doesn't bring that energy, if he doesn't, come prepared, he's going to get knocked out in front of everybody, in front of his family, in front of his kids, in front of the world. And so I try to bring that same energy to basketball, where if I'm not locked in or if I have a really slow start or whatever, we're going to lose. And I try to have that mentality. Also a bounce back mentality. So if the team hits me first or I have a really bad first half, I can go in the locker room, reset, and then come back with a new energy and have how many points I want, basically. That's that mental side. That's that kung fu, that fighting spirit, So just try to keep that on me.
So do you feel like you play better when it feels like there's more pressure
Yes.
on you?
If somebody screams me hard and hits me in my mouth, I'm gonna have a better game. If you're almost making me, okay, go ahead, shoot, then I'm like not locked in. I'm just kind of going through it. So when a guy tests me or when a team tests us or the stakes are higher or the pressure's higher, yeah, I think it definitely raises our level of play.
What I always think about is what someone told me once. They said that fear makes the wolf bigger than he is.
Mhm.
And I think that in a place like the Western Conference, it's a lot of wolves, a lot of teams that can look very scary. How do you know that no matter who the opponent is, what the team is, that you and your team have a chance?
Because we've done it. We've seen it. Anybody can beat anybody in the league, but when you bring the best version of you, it's hard to see yourself lose. It's hard to, because you don't say, "Oh, I brought the best version, and I know I'm going to lose." Because who thinks that they're going to lose after bringing their best? So if I go bring my best, regardless of what's happening, I think we have a chance. And I try to feed that to the teammates and bring that energy to the team, to the fans, just kind of rally them and bring that energy. But, not every guy has it every night. So you got to figure out a way to pull it out of them and always hold yourself to a high standard. If you don't have it, you got to find a way to get into it, whatever that is. Whatever is when halftime comes, just reset like it is for me or whatever it is. But yeah, that's what I try to do.
So when you look at this season and you think about your goals, how has goal setting maybe changed for you for this stretch because you're coming off of an injury? Or is it the same?
Championship. We're trying to win a championship. Nothing less. I know I'm not where I want to be yet in terms of the level of play, but I feel like once we hit the stride and once we hit our rhythm, I feel like we'll be, top 3 in the league. Just at the finals. I just know that you can't skip. You can't skip over the finals. So the work has to be done. The preparation has to be done. The progress, the ups and the downs, the adversity. You got to go through it all before you get there. But that's where we see ourselves, is at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you talk about playing well under pressure, it feels like it's a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations on this team to get it done this time. Do you feel that, whether it affects you personally or not? Do you feel that expectation?
I mean, it can be an expectation, but I don't feel like it's pressure though. Like it's just still something we're all trying to. Everybody's trying to win a championship. Good teams, bad teams, we're all trying to win a championship. We just feel like we have the team to do it, and we'd be cutting ourselves short if we didn't believe in it or actually make it a goal. So I don't see us not making the finals just because I know how good this team can be. So.
There was a moment in the preseason game against the Thunder where you looked at the crowd and you said, "That's what I do."
That's what I do.
What did you want the people to feel in that moment?
Like I said, in that moment when we saw there were 6 seconds on the clock, didn't matter what quarter, there's 6 seconds left, and Joker's inbound the ball, and we got 6 seconds to go. Nothing else matters. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's expecting us to score. I'm in a different mode when I had the ball, so I felt it because I felt me, and I haven't felt me in a while. So when I felt me, I was like, okay, let me bring them on in. So,
everybody gonna feel me.
yeah. Let me bring them on in.
Yeah.
So it was a first taste and everything, but it was just nice to have that energy back in the building. It's been a while.
Because see, I thought you were going to say that was your favorite moment because it felt like in your face that really meant something to you because you were feeling the energy and feeling back to yourself when you said that.
Yeah. In that 6 seconds, I was the Jamal that everybody knows, and I wasn't being shy about it, So.
But what has that process been like, just generally, like coming back to yourself? You're describing it as I am now what I have been, which would imply that for these past, years, you haven't been that because you haven't been playing. Has there been any sort of, I guess, thoughts about your identity and what it means with or without basketball?
I just feel like I just need to see myself do it, to have that confidence and to shake the doubt, shake the unknown about what's going to happen after I come back, So just being in that moment, being locked in, feeling the energy, feeling the confidence in myself like I haven't felt. No, you go in practice, you hit a couple shots, it's whatever, it's practice. But when you go in the arena and actually do it in the game and everybody sees what you're doing, you get that confidence back. It only takes one play to have to spark it back up again. So, like I said, once I had that, I I could have easily just shot it regular. I just went off the backboard because I just do stuff like that. That's just what I am. So it was just nice to bring the energy back in the building, see it, believe it, and look forward to doing it again,
For sure.
Yeah.
So another reason I was really happy to talk to you is because I want to get your thoughts on analytics in basketball.
Okay.
I know obviously the Nuggets are big into that.
Yep.
Jokic, big into that. One of the big reasons he won MVP, he was just leading like every advanced stat category. I'm a voter. I voted for Jokic. I get it. Congrats to him. How do you feel about how it has invaded basketball? Because on Twitter, there's this contingent of people that are into the numbers. Then there's the he got that dog in on Twitter, and they go in for the eye test. Where do you fall?
I fall off feel. There's going to be bad shots in the game. There's going to be bad takes in the game, bad decisions. Everybody's going to do that. But to take out the mid-range shot because it's not a good shot, it's kind of corny, honestly. I don't really like that. Like, DeRozan's one of the best to do it. Pump faking guys, putting them in foul trouble, getting to the free throw line, getting himself in rhythm. Like, there's so much more details than just what the point actually means, So that's my take on it. There's if you go for a game winner, I'd rather take a mid range than a three. It's just naturally easier shot, and I can stop on a dime. I can step back and still be in a close space, close to the basket. Like, there's so many different things that can happen just playing off that mid range. And that's just one part of the analytics. Yeah. That's just the mid range that we're talking about. There's so many different aspects of the analytics that gets kind of buried.
Yeah. Because, okay, I like it. I get it. I think that it has certainly enhanced the game, shown things that work and things that don't. But sometimes when we get too caught up in it, we are losing a lot of the stuff that we love about the game too. So I just wonder how we can continue to have that balance as the game progresses. Because I don't know if there's that balance right now.
I think you just got to understand somebody's game. That's the biggest thing. You got to understand what they're capable of doing and what they want to do. Like, I'm not going to tell Joker don't shoot a mid range because it's the bad shot. That's his game. He makes that, and that's what wins his games. So I think he's got to look at the wins and the dubs instead of the analytics all the time.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with Jamal about that, and I asked him if he ever felt any sort of pressure to change what his game is because the game has gone away from what he is excellent at. And he said you almost have to have this resolve that if I know I'm the best at doing this thing, why would I ever change it? Yeah. And there's going to be so many places you go where they want you to change, want you to trend towards whatever the popular thing is, but you're actually ruining what got you to that space. Yep. But it's difficult, I think, to stay there when you're seeing other things.
It's like going to making it to the league and then they try to change your shot. It's like, well, I made it to the league by shooting my shot. That's basically the meaning of it. So, like, when you said that, it kind of resonated.
No, absolutely. So then what would you say to people that maybe don't get why maybe Jokic got the MVP over someone like Embiid? What makes Jokic so special besides the numbers?
The amount of possessions and games throughout the seasons, throughout 2 years of him winning MVP it's crazy. If you actually go and watch the games and you watch him, he's got a guy on him. Defender coming from here, sometimes defender coming from here. He's able to look this way and throw a pass, and he's got 3 guys on him. Like, it's not easy. It's not just because he's passing the ball or he's not doing too much work. Like, he's creating everything for us, literally everything. So to watch him do that possession after possession to the playoffs, like, it was pretty incredible. And to have the consistency to do it is another thing. I don't think anybody else should have won it over Jokic. I really don't.
You could argue that it's maybe even like a little underrated what he was doing because so much of it was just him doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking of the confidence he got in doing it, getting double teamed and still throwing no looks and making crazy plays. And like I said, having the confidence to, do a one leg off the backboard. Like, it takes a lot of self-trust to do that when you're even being doubted, like you said, so.
How did your appreciation for him change watching and not playing with him?
Learned a lot. Picked up a lot of tricks in the post. But yeah, just beautiful to see. You almost just can't wait to see what he's going to do. It's just that, an awe moment watching him play and knowing that he's not being selfish with it either. He's really just trying to win the game and look for you and look to make plays. So it's a joy to watch. He's so versatile, and everybody talks about how he's not that good on defense. He's got great hands, though. He's got great hands. He's got great anticipation. He reads the game well. Good on the angles. Like he's just a well-rounded player overall.
No, I mean, I love watching him play. I agree with you. I think that he deserved those MVPs. Like I said, I voted. I'm with it. I'm into all of it.
I voted too.
Like here's my pick. There's so many just random topics that I want to talk to you about because I've actually never interviewed Jamal before. And one of those things is when you had 48 points and you wanted to get 50.
Boston?
Yes, and you took the shot. I am not opposed to this. It was a very polarizing moment. After you've done it, where do you fall on it? Do you think it's disrespectful to take that last shot?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's so far gone now. It's like, why does it even matter? But
it will happen again. Not with you, but this will always be a thing. I'm like, if I want to get 50, me scoring this is not me disrespecting your team. It's that I want 50, my 50.
Yeah. Here's what I would have done. I would have shot it to make it. I think I just shot it expecting to make it because I was making so many shots that night, but I really just kind of put it up in a way. I felt like if I really shot it to shoot and I didn't hesitate, then I think I would have a different take on it. So
okay.
Yeah.
And your take now is?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whether you hate it or not, that was 5-6 years ago. Like I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying I'm Team Jamal on this. I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Whoever's
but
mad is mad. It's whatever.
I don't think anyone's mad anymore. But in that time, I remember Twitter really going back and forth about, should you be allowed to do this? I don't think it's that big of a deal, but haven't talked to you, so I wanted to ask you about that too. Also want to talk to you about you meditating. I read that is something that you do every day?
Not anymore, but it's a big part of my preparation for games.
Okay. Can you walk me through it?
Just being honest with yourself. Some people find it weird, and it is weird, but when you really look at yourself in the mirror and have an honest conversation, it's hard to make excuses for yourself later on. So if I say, just a quick example, if I say, I'm really tired, I really don't want to work out in the morning, or I really don't want to work out later. I just want to do whatever. And then I go to the mirror and I say, yeah, I really don't want to do this. And then all this stuff comes in where like, I'm telling myself this, not like someone else is telling me. So like, it's hard for me to say, just don't go. Because I'm saying it. I'm telling myself I should have gone. And then if I don't go, it's like, well, no one else is limiting me but me now. So I try to keep that in my head all the time where I can't go back on myself. If I say I'm going to go in the morning, I can't just make an excuse myself and not go, because then I'm only cheating myself,
Yeah.
So I try to keep that. Yeah.
You don't want to be the thing that stops you.
No.
Because there's not really an excuse.
Unless something happens where I got an appointment, I can't make it, cool. But when I say I'm going to do something, I try to actually follow through so that I don't go back on my word. On my own word, for the most part, yeah.
Have you read the 4 Agreements? Well, in that book, it's just one of the things that they say everyone should live by is being impeccable with your word, holding yourself to the things that you say. And it just made me think about it when you say that. Do you do any visualization with your meditation?
Oh, yeah. I mean, before every game, I try to visualize the game and how it's going to go or what I want to do or just the energy I want to bring. That's the main thing is what energy am I going to bring? Because people are watching, my teammates watching, they're feeding off of me. I'm the point guard. I'm calling the plays. I'm leading the team. So I don't want to have my energy down or off or unpredictable or just not there in the moment. I want to bring a certain energy where they look at their point guard, they look at the leader as he's ready to go. Whether he misses, whether he has a bad game, he's there for the right reason. He's doing it for the right reason. So I try to, like I said, to the fight. I can't just go in a fight and not bring it. You got to bring it. So especially when you got a teammate watching you and you got young guys watching you and I got my little brother watching me, I try to show the right things. Yeah.
First regular season game, what will you visualize?
I feel like it's just going to be natural. I think the first time I touched the court was the big one. I think that
What did you visualize that day?
Just making my first shot. I think that's why it took me so long to make it my first shot.
Ah.
That's why, because I was thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Even when I got to the free throw line, I shot the technical, like the crowd was cheering. I was already smiling. I'm like, I already know I'm going to miss this. I'm just not here right now. I'm just too happy. And then once I went to the bench and settled down, relaxed, my nerves got calm, focused on the game, then I made my shot and everything was just flowing after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Regular season should be, I should be going by then.
Yeah, I mean, I also think this is great news for Nuggets fans because it feels like for you just needed that game.
Oh yeah, to check,
like,
check my own box.
Yeah. It was about your boxes.
Yeah, I just need to check my own list and get that game under my belt and just just feel it, you know. And then after that, I can figure out my rhythm and my pace and all that. All that stuff's easy to figure out once you're playing. But I just gotta get that monkey off my back.
No,
Good night.
I love that. And I also hope fans really do understand just the mental fortitude that it takes to even have gone onto the court that day, wanting to make that first shot, trusting your body, knowing that you're ready. I think all of those things are kind of underestimated when a player is making that return. I think that when I think about Dame coming back, Kawhi coming back, Ben coming back, all of these people, it's not just about that physical element of stepping onto the court. It's what you have to tell yourself on the court, what you had to say before you stepped on the court. A lot of things really go into it that I don't know if that's always appreciated. What do you think people don't fully understand about recovery? Or what did you have to learn about recovery that you didn't know?
I mean, I've been hurt before, but I've never been out like that. And like in the playoffs against Golden State, they wanted me to come back. And I was training to come back. I was ramping up. I was doing more. But I wasn't close mentally to play. Like I wasn't navigating screens was hard. Now you want me to go and navigate a screen with Steph. Like it's just I'm just not there yet, you know? So the mental side was harder. And I'm good with the mental side, but it was just a lot tougher in the duration of it and the amount of thought that you put into it and the amount of doubt that happens. Then you see other people doubt and then you don't know what's gonna happen because you're not playing. So like there's so many different things circling your head. I just had to stick to myself and know that even though I want to play, my passion comes out. I want to be there for the team. Like there's so many parts of the game where I just couldn't do it yet. I wasn't there yet. So now that I look, whatever, 6 months later, I'm in a completely different space than I was before. And now when I look here, I'm like, man, thank God I didn't play. You know
Very
what I'm saying?
smart decision.
You know, like it was just,
Yeah.
it finally comes into context and it finally comes out how it should. So
Yeah.
it was just nice to see it through and get healthy and not have any regrets about playing, you know?
And I think you're right. You made the smartest decision. But in that moment, how hard was it to have to say, no, I can't play?
Very hard. I went to my dad and said I wanted to play. That's the thing. Like I wanted to play. And if I stopped training like I wanted to play, then I would have been ready to play. So I had to keep that thing going where, okay, he's trained to come back, whether he comes back or not, he's training to come back. So yeah, once I said I wasn't coming back, it was like, okay, I'm not going to the weight room. I'm not shooting. It was kind of like, mental relax. I just kind of relaxed and chilled because I knew I wasn't going to play. So I'm happy I kept the training like it should have been.
Yeah. But that's why I had asked you, like, what you learned about time, like what your relationship is with time now, because you have to give time, you know? And sometimes we just think that because we want something, it'll happen. But so much of everything is a process and having things go in the way that they should, which I'm sure you had to learn through this. Just because you want something doesn't mean it's the right thing or the thing that you can do. So I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself too through this.
When I said I wasn't going to play, it was like coming down from a high or something. Like I went into a dark spot. Like this is what I've been working for. This is what I've been training for. This is what I've been trying to get healthy for. Blood, sweat, and tears. Days I didn't want to do it. Pain, soreness, all that stuff. And then to not get a reward of playing, like that really sucks. So I definitely hit it down after I knew I wasn't going to play. And it was like a build-up. Okay, now I gotta fix my energy to go back and hit training again and go with the same mentality, a better mentality. Now that I look, I'm in such a better spot. It's like everything happens for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
It just worked out the way it should.
Yeah, because playing in that probably was like the light at the end of the tunnel, but then the light got taken away. It's just tunnel.
Yeah, it's just tunnel. You got more to go. It's like, that was the thing is I was hoping to see myself make it back on the court. And then when I didn't, it was like, man, I got to wait a whole another thing. I got to have a whole different view on it, you know? And it was a lot mentally to get through that.
You said that it was a dark spot for you. What do you mean by that?
It's just like looking forward to something you've always looked forward to and then actually putting the work in for it and then not seeing the reward out of it. It was like, man, I've already been through 9-10 months of not doing it. it's hard to see another 5 after that.
Mhm.
That was the tough part, going through the summer, the beginning of the summer at least, and not having the feeling of playing. Because the longer I'm not playing, the more out of rhythm I am. Just the more it takes for me to get back in the rhythm. So, yeah.
More bad days or good days?
That's a good question. Definitely more good days. Definitely more good days. But those bad days can really change your thinking or change a person. I had somebody tell me the fear of the unknown is strong, because you can add whatever you want in that time frame. So if I don't, I didn't know I was coming back. I didn't know how I was going to go. I didn't know when I was coming back. The situation I was going to be in, all that was fearful. All that was unknown. And then I didn't come back. It's like, okay, it sucks, but at least I'm in control of the next 5 months. I'm in control of how prepared I am, my readiness, my focus. I have an opportunity to remodel my mentality going into the next season. I'm not going into the fire of the playoffs and got to deal with whatever it is. I'm going to a regular season where I have a fresh start and a new beginning almost.
Yeah. So you talk about comparing, going onto the court to a fight.
Yeah.
We talked about this mental kung fu. What fighter are you? Jamal Murray was a fighter. Who are you? Who embodies Jamal Murray?
There would definitely be a fighter with confidence, utmost confidence, flair, someone who's exciting to watch. I don't talk a lot. I don't talk crazy, so I don't want to say someone that talks crazy.
You're not a trash talker at all. Are you?
I mean, depends on the situation.
It's like, I do not believe you, but okay.
when I'm in mode, I'm definitely a different person.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking of this person as a person to me. I'm just thinking about what I got to do.
In mode, okay.
In mode, locked in.
Your alter ego.
Basically, I call it basically my alter ego.
Does your alter ego have a name?
Nah, he got a name. Just quiet assassin.
Quiet assassin. I'm into it.
I don't know what fighter I'd be though.
I'm getting like kind of some Bruce Lee vibes, because this is very mental. It feels like for you.
Yeah, go with Bruce Lee.
Very like be water.
Yeah. Flow, adjust.
Yeah,
that's me right there, Bruce. Yeah, that's a good one.
And that could be your alter ego. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like it's for sure some Bruce Lee going on. A couple more of you before we finish. I was watching an interview you did, and you said something that I just resonated with me a lot, and I think probably resonates with a lot of basketball players. You said, one of the hardest parts is being you when you're someone else to everybody. What did you mean by that?
Just being true to yourself is tough sometimes when other people think they know you, or think that you should be a certain way, or think that your situation is different, than it really is. I don't know. That kind of goes for a lot of things. Like if I go to the store and I'm just at the gas station, I'm just trying to get some milk, like people pulling out cameras and phones, and it's hard to be myself knowing that they're looking at me in a different light. So like, even if I'm frustrated, even if I'm annoyed, or if I don't have it that day, like it's hard for them to see that, So I do a good job of holding my temper, but I definitely have my days where I'm just like, man, this guy does not respect my space at all. Like, so I think that goes on in the court as well. It's like, why isn't he doing this? It's like, that's not how things are working right now. It's just, you're looking at it from the outside in, basically. And you got to stick true to what's going on the actual inside. That's all. Just staying true to your identity.
For sure. We just had Jason Tatum on the show, and he talks about this. And one thing I asked him is like, what have you had to sacrifice to be Jason Tatum? And he's like, really everything. My time, my space.
Yep. Privacy.
He's like, anything that I do is a thing. Like the reason we started talking about it was the photo of him and KD, and then everyone's like, oh my God, is Jason trying to get KD? He's like, nope, actually we're just working out, you know? And it's like, you almost can't do anything without people putting things on you. And there's not really any grace, I think, that is given to NBA players. People see an image, they see a video, and they have decided that that's who you are or that's what you're doing in that moment. So how do you deal with still being you while also understanding what you said, that there are other people that see you as things too?
I think I do a good job of reading people, and I don't get too upset. So if they look at me like, if they're really excited or if whatever it is, I just try to keep that in mind. You know, I don't want to come off wrong or just be rude or anything, or just throw them off because I'm having an off day. You know, I try to at least they're happy. This is something I've worked for my whole life, and I remember seeing Vince as a young kid, and I tell the story during every interview. But I was in the stands as a young kid, and my favorite player. We were in the full purple and gold with the shoes and everything, full everything.
You're Vinced out.
Vinced out, headband. I didn't even like wearing headbands, but I wore it just because of Vince. And I would yell his name as hard as I could. And I said, Vince Carter. And I could tell, like, he's in the game. Like, he's in the game, and he's got this kid out of nowhere just heckling at him. And I'm just sitting there so excited. I'm asking, can I yell his name? Can I yell his name? And he looked up, and he went like this. And I'll never forget about that. I'll remember the story, remember the day, just going like that. So when I see a kid or I see a fan, even adults, it's kind of weird with adults because it's like, you should understand, like, just give me, just take it, just chill.
Yeah, chill out. We're grown.
But when I see a kid, at least with that kind of excitement, like, I just drop everything. You know, I don't have to carry that with me when I see a kid so happy, because that moment changed my life. That moment changed my outlook, my perception on people. All that stuff. So just by when I was 6 years old, I remember that changed me. So I try to have that same thing where if a kid yells something, I can give that same vibe that Vince gave me, you know? And
you certainly have, I'm sure, given that to so many kids that are going to remember that specific moment. Okay, one last one for you, because I know we need to wrap. Can't have you on the show without asking you about games. I know that you're a gamer. NBA 2K, before you were on the Nuggets, what team did you play with?
I used LeBron a lot. I used Eddie House from Miami.
Oh, okay.
Torching people with Eddie House. I'm talking about, like, when I was young.
I was not expecting you to say that, but okay, we've got an Eddie House mention.
Michael Redd. Okay, all these guys. Yes.
I love it.
I've been playing 2K since like 2K3. So I've been playing Corey Maggette. Like, he used to be a slasher, just unstoppable. Eddie House was definitely one of my favorites.
No, I love. This is actually the second Michael Redd mentioned. DeMar DeRozan also mentioned Michael Redd as someone who gave him some really good advice. So he's gotten some love on the show. And lastly, I know you've talked about your rating. Before they came out, you said that you should have at least been, I think you said an 88. You said at least an 88.
I think that would be fair, yeah.
But what are you?
I don't know. I think I'm at 85 or 86.
Okay.
I think something like that.
So we're going to get that up.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's got to change.
Yes, I love that. You heard that, Ronnie, wherever you're at.
Ronnie knows. I told him.
Like, he is his ear. No, Jamal, you were a pleasure. Thank you for doing this. I'm so happy that you're back. We're all excited to watch you, and have a beautiful season.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.